Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Let me start the stream. Hold on one moment. Can you give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me? I don't know what my YouTube channel is. Oh shoot. What is my password? I'll be there in a minute. I'm trying to figure out how to make this work. Oh, you can hear me. Excellent. Let's see. I'm just trying to get a couple of technical things taken care of before I go live so you don't have to see me. But I will be there soon enough. Let's see. Let me just mute for one moment while I take care of a couple more things. We'll be starting any moment. Okay. Oops. Do-over. Okay, I think I forgot to put the sound back on when I was doing my technical difficulties. So we're going to do a do-over. All right. So, hello. My name is Maya. Here, let me get to the other screen. Hi. I'm Maya, and this is greenARTS. This is a series about completing unfinished projects from my students. I've had students for about 10 years. I've been doing greenARTS, showing students how to sew, hand sew, and also to craft. Are we hearing me okay now? And so you visually just saw me go through all of these, but I'm going to go through it again. So greenARTS has been teaching children how to sew and to craft, like silly little things like this in the background, for 10 years. And over the years, for whatever matter, we end up with leftover projects in folders, and I have just been collecting them in a box. And so I decided that I was going to start completing these because I couldn't bring myself to throw them out. So here we go. Let me show you some of the things that I've already finished. I think everyone saw this one. This one was one of my posts. I really enjoyed this one and it brought me so much joy to finish it, because the student went to so much trouble to attach all of these spots, which, if you know kids, they really like to rush through things. So the fact that they had done all this work and then it wasn't finished, I really had to finish it. And so I was just completing these, and it was giving me so much pleasure that I thought, why don't I share this with my greenARTS audience? So here I am, sharing this stuff. This is also a snake that a student made. They went through the trouble of like putting all the stripes on it, and then the two pieces were left there, and I wanted to make sure that it got put together. So let's see, let me take you to here so you can see me too. And then look at this one. Okay, so a little gamer dude did this one, and the majority of it was finished. It just hadn't been completed, sewn closed. So it's really difficult to get a hold of all of these students over the past 10 years. So I just have been holding on to these in a box. And I decided, hey, I'm going to finish these, and I wanted to take you along for the ride. So look at this cute little beak. It opens. Oops, there we go. A little opening beak for this little penguin. We've got a little person here. Little person here with some button eyes. Some Pusheen kitty cats with a cookie. They're all just so sweet, and I really, really adore them. All the little details, and just the way, kids make art. It's really, really cool. So, and even here, this one is the one that's from the screenshot, and it actually has sand in the bottom, so you can actually make it stand. Oops, there we go. Stand for me. So, yeah. So all of these great little projects will be in the future available on my Etsy. But I think we're going to get into starting to sew these up now. And the partner of this little cute sandal is going to be our very first project. Okay? So, now that everyone can hear me, we're going to go through this box, which is all the stuff. Here, let me make it a full screen. This is all the stuff that has been left over from previous students in a very, varying states of completion. This was done in 2003. Interesting. That might have been when they were born. Anyway, So yeah, we've got all these cute little projects, some more finished than others. I've got an eyeball here. We have a little Harry Potter piece here that needs to be attached. We've got another like little doll that wasn't finished. She's got some pipe cleaner inside and a little heart. So we're going to just go through some of this and we're going to see about completing some of these. And for right now, the one I'm looking for is the partner to this. Because I thought we would just start ourselves out slow here. Oh, here it is. Voila. Oh, cute. All right. So I'm going to grab a little stuffing. It already has thread attached to it. And we're going to get started on our first little project here. And you're going to love it. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on my hands so you can get it a little bit closer. There we go. So here's the first one. And this one I'm going to finish. So how many sewers out there are there? Does a lot of people sew out there? Whether you're watching this as a VOD or a stream, you can still comment because I will see it. Yeah, probably when I complete these streams, they'll go onto my channel as a VOD, so you'll be able to see them then. So right now, what we're doing is I'm doing the whip stitch, and I'm going to complete the sewing of this little wedge on this sandal. So this student wanted to make it so it was thicker, right? Not just two pieces sewn together. So it has this whole edge on here that we are going to recreate right now with this one. I have a cute little cat in mind to do after this one, but I thought we would start out slow and make this cute little sandal. I'm going to come up to the end here. Oops, there we go. And then, let's see, let's size that. We're going to see where it lines up with the other one. And careful not to cut the thread. We're just going to cut the fabric. Let's see here. Continue sewing this one on this edge. For those that are listening now, can you hear the music? I have some really subtle music on in the background. Let's see. All right. Oh, my thread fell off. So, let's see. Let's finish this up. The way I tie a knot is I basically just make a loop, and then I go through the loop, pull it tight, and then I push my thread onto the inside. So now the thread's on the inside, and you don't have to worry about it. Let's get another pink thread. Oh, actually, conveniently, I have one right here. So let's continue on. So obviously this foot has a way it goes. That would be backwards, so we want to put it on this way. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start on the inside of my fabric to hide the knot on the inside. Pushing that down, I'm going to go ahead and sew all around the edge. And then before I close it up on the other end, we'll put a little stuffing in there and it'll be done. So, oops, there we go. There we go. Also, until we get more people in here asking questions and stuff like that, it'll be kind of a chill stream. You're going to be kind of just sewing alongside with me, completing these projects. I know that when I watch videos of other people doing crafts and finishing projects, it's very satisfying. So I hope that this video will be satisfying to you too, some of you. And just let me know if there's anything that you want to ask. I can field some sewing questions while I'm doing this. Right now, my big prompter in front of me is not having the chat, so I actually have to look over to the side to see chat, but that's okay. I'm new at this streaming thing, and so I will get better as time goes. How am I doing? I'm not staying in the window, am I? Here we go. Awesome. And a project like this size is pretty quick to finish. In fact, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this with this existing thread. So I may have to tie off and start anew. Oops. Let's push that thread inside. Is the camera focusing on my hands, or am I moving too much? There we go. Don't worry, everyone. I will get all these kinks worked out. This is actually the very first time I've ever streamed. So, and I'm kind of doing it on my own, so I don't have a lot of technical support. So I'm kind of learning as I go along. But that's fine. I'm sure you guys will be patient with me, and we're going to have a fun time doing this together. All right, let's see. Let's get that stitch inside. Boop. Cut that off. And I think I need another thread and some stuffing. All right, let's see. Stuffing. Let's see, I'm going to turn up the music a little bit. Let's see if that works out. All right. Oh my gosh. So cute. I want to make sure they have the same amount of stuffing in it. I think I'm just going to put a little bit more in the heel here. Just a wee bit more. There we go. Let's see here. Pink thread. So I use embroidery thread with most of my projects, and embroidery thread comes 6 strands spun together, and I only use 2. It's easier to pull through the fabric, the felt fabric, and if I do a filler stitch or something like that, I'll use all of the thread, but if I'm just sewing the pieces together, I usually just use 2 threads. All right, let's see here. Once again, I'm going to start on the inside of the stitch, on the inside of the fabric, so I can hide my knot on the inside. And then as I'm closing this, I'm going to use my needle to push in all the little white fuzz from the fluff. Ooh, I think like the music might be a little too loud now. Yep. All right. Check this out. Our first little project done. Now granted, it was a tiny one, but I wanted to get a good little dopamine hit for those completionists in the audience. Here we go. So now we have our first little sandals. They're finished. I really like how the student designed them. These will now go into the box, and let's pull out another project. All right, let's see. Let's go to this part. Hi again. So I had something in mind here that I thought we could get finished pretty quickly. Check this guy out, okay? His pieces are already all set up. I even have a jumble of thread we could pull from if we needed to. And I think as we go forward, I'll try to involve you guys more in helping me choose which things to sew and maybe even what colors to sew this stuff on with. So I think it's going to be fun. Hydration. How's everyone doing out there? You guys okay? Yep, good. All right, let's see. Let me just open this up just a little bit since we've got a little bit more going on here. I was actually just about to start this one in November when I was originally going to start streaming, but you know, things happened and I wasn't able to do it until now. So I've actually been quite eager to continue working on this piece. You can see I've already sewn on the mouth and the whiskers. We're going to be sewing on the eyes, and I believe these are cookies, which I might go ahead and do some French knots to make little chocolate chips in those cookies. I think that'll be fun. All right, so let's see. Let's do some black thread. And in interest of just using this material that I have here, because I am a recycled artist, other than sewing, let's see if I can get some thread here. Ooh, these are all very short, very, very short. Oop, here we go. That ought to be long enough. Okay, so again, let's see, how many threads is this? This is 3 threads, so I'm just going to leave it together. The way I make a knot is I just wrap the thread around my finger, and then I just roll the thread off the tip of my finger, and then I pull down to make a knot at the end. So just a clue, whenever you do that crisscross knot, wherever you put the crisscross, that's where the knot's going to be. So you always want to make sure that you put the crisscross at the very, very end of your thread, so you have as little waste as possible. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to sew on these cute little eyeballs. I think I can take this pin out. Since I'll be holding it with my thumb, I'm going to come up from behind, poke through. I'm going to be doing the running stitch around the edge of the eye. Now, in a moment where we would have more people on stream, I could ask if you wanted to put like eyelashes on this guy, or any other things that you wanted to add. But right now, we're just going to stick to the basics and do what we do. Uh-oh. Sometimes when you have a lot of pins in your work, your thread does end up getting caught on it, and it's just up to you whether you want to take them out or not. Sometimes I take them out, but in this moment, I will probably not. Let's see. Okay, that's one eye. I'm going to do a quick little knot on the back, going underneath the stitch right next to it, creating a loop, and going through that loop. I like to do 2 knots on top of each other. That locks in the second knot. Gonna cut that, make another knot, and continue on. All right, so let me change this to just my hands and maybe just do slightly closer. Not too close. Sometimes I think this camera has a little trouble focusing on my hands when I get too close. So let's try to make sure that we are in focus. Starting behind again. So we have our knot on the back side. I'm going to come around this eye. I'm going to take that pin out now because my thumb is holding it in place. And really, when you're sewing, there's no need to really look on the back of your project because your thumb on top is pretty much signaling where you want your other hand to come up with the needle. So there you go. Getting this little guy on. So again, this is the running stitch we're doing around the edge. Let's see, did we get all the way around the eye? I'll go a little bit up here up top. See, now this is a situation where maybe we want to add eyes, maybe we want to add eyebrows. Who knows? Hold on one moment, taking a bio break. I mean a drink break, a hydro break. All right. So there we go. I'm not going to put any eyelashes on it this time, but next time, maybe chat will have me put the eyebrows on. Eyebrows, eyelashes, who knows? I'm sure we'll run into another cat to be made. Cats are very popular in my class. All right, look at that. Got a little of that orange fuzz coming through from the needle, but I can pick that off easily. All right, I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm not going to sew these cookies on with a running stitch all the way around the edge of the cookie like I did with the eyes. I'm just going to do some brown French knots on the cookie as chocolate chips, and then that will hold the cookie on in a creative manner. So for a French knot, especially a chocolate chip French knot, I think I'm going to go down to 4 strands because these cookies are small, so I can't do full 6 strands. It'll be too proportionately large, but I can do 4 strands. So again, wrapping the thread around the tip of my finger, rolling it off, and pulling down to get the knot at the end. Okay. Now, who is ready for some French knots? I know I am. All right, I'm going to take this pin out because I'm holding my cookie down with my thumb. I'm going to come up right where my thumb is, lay my needle over the hole. I'm going to wrap the thread. Let's see if I can do this slow so you can see. Wrap 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's good. Pull back. And then I'm going to slide my needle back and put it back into the cookie. All right, and we're going to pull it through. Oop, there we go. Chocolate chip. Oh, that's cute. Come on, camera. There we go. So let's do a couple of chocolate chips on this cookie. One, two, three, pull back. Slide your needle back and pop back in. Oh, that looks good. One more over here. I'm going to do a little off center so it doesn't look too much like a face. 1, 2, 3, pull back. And slide your needle back and put it back in. There we go. A chocolate chip cookie. So I could just, start on another one, but then I'd have strings going all the way across the back. So I think I'm just going to tie this one off, and then I'll start a new thread on the new cookie. Going under the stitch, creating a loop, and going through the loop. And then cut. All right, let's do this one. Up, across, wrap, 1, 2, 3, pull back. Slide your needle down and push in. One, two, three, pull back, slide your needle back, and push in. The French knot is one of those stitches that you will do many, many times and get it wrong, and then one day it'll just click, and you'll get it. Not to say that I get it perfect every time, especially when I'm showing somebody else how to do it. Sometimes the thread will fall off the end of the needle, and that's actually good because that shows them, that it happens to everybody, not just the new student. Then I'm going to do one more chocolate chip over here. 1, 2, 3, pull back, and push back in. Boop. All right. There you go. Not bad. Okay, let's tie this thread off. Finding my loop, going through the loop, under the stitch, find my loop, go through the loop, give it a good tug, and snip. All right. So this is only 2 threads, but I think I'm just going to double it up since we just have that one cookie left to sew. I'm going to double it up, which I usually don't do. But today, for you, I do. Okay, here we go. Last little chocolate chip cookie. 1, 2, 3, pull back. And, oh, see, that one, it fell off. It happens. Okay, let's try that again. Lay it across, wrap it, 1, 2, 3, pull back, slide your needle back, and put it back in. There we go. I did it. One, 2, 3, pull it back, and put in. Most excellent. And one more little chocolate chip for that cookie. 1, 2, 3. Pull back. Ooh, and go back in. There we go. Let's tie it off on the back. All right. So we could just put this together like this. That is a possibility. But I think we need a paw, right? We need a paw to hold that cookie. So let's see if we have any fabric in this box that we can use. What do you think? What do we need? We need orange. Orange, orange, orange. I can usually get some scrap out of here. No orange. I see orange. Oh, that's a fox. So many things in this box. Let's see. Maybe we don't have any orange. Well, I don't have any orange today, so he doesn't get a hand. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, as it were. Okay, let's get back to sewing him together. I'm going to line up all these edges. So before we were using the running stitch to attach the eyes, the whiskers, and the mouth. And now we're going to use the whip stitch. The whip stitch is like one of the easiest stitches, and it's really good when you're making plushies to put it around the edge, because the edge turns out to be really nice, as opposed to getting a little kind of like a bead along the edge if you did the running stitch. So I have some orange thread here. We're going to be splitting it. If you wonder why I have these, I have all my threads cut at 18 inches length. It seems to be the best length for working with students. Usually the rule of thumb is from the tip of your nose to the end of your fingertip when you hold your arm out to your side. That's how long your thread should be. And on kids, that's usually about 18 inches. But if I didn't make it clear, this series really, it's not so much about teaching kids. It's actually for the adults. Because I can't tell you how many times when I run my camp or when I do my classes, the parents see what the kids are making and they say, oh man, I wish I could sign up for your class, or I could sign up for your camp. And oops. And so now I thought, well, why don't I just come to you in wherever your computer is, into your home, and I can stream my crafting for you. And if you're in the mood, you can like grab some crafting and craft alongside me. I think they call that parallel crafting, like parallel playing. And just have some fun, relax, learn how to enjoy the simpler things like sewing. Not only useful, but also you can just really get a lot of pleasure from it, especially with the kids. to teach a child not what to make, but how to make. A lot of these projects are from their imagination. They created the stencil, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to empower the creative mind to create, and not just, follow instructions, even though following instructions is good. It's a good skill to have, but, what if you don't have any instructions to follow? Then you have to be able to create something on your own from scratch, just like cooking, but also with plushies and stuff like that, kids now making 3D plushies for themselves. They're making them for their families and friends. So it's really a great thing to learn, and I really enjoy teaching it. So it's not only good for kids, but it's also good for the adults. So my intention is to really be here Tuesdays and Thursday mornings doing some chill streaming of crafting. And if you are not available to watch me in the mornings on Thursday, Friday, the very next day YouTube will put it in my live archives where you could watch it. This thread is getting a little bit short, so we're going to go ahead and tie off here. So on that note, I hope that you guys do end up finding this series enjoyable. I know I am. Just crafting and finishing these things is very satisfying. Definitely better than throwing them in the trash bin. But getting a hold of the people that originally made this is difficult. So, and people move on, so it's all good. Okay, here we go. On to our next thread. I can't believe it. We're almost done with this one. I might sew faster than I thought I would. I did. I thought for sure that it would take me 2 hours to finish this. Well, to be honest, actually, most of the work was done, right? All the pieces were cut out and the design was laid out. So really, we're just putting it together. So on that note, I think I'll probably be able to get like 2 or 3 projects finished each stream. So that might be very good for those that like to see a lot of things getting accomplished, like me. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough holding on to all these projects for the last couple of months until I had all of my streaming equipment, set up. And I am definitely open to some feedback on how I could improve this stream. I am a newbie, after all. And really, my strength is the crafting, not the tech. But that's not going to stop me. And that's basically, my MO. Let us not knowing how to do something stop us from doing it. We gotta stretch and do new things. All right. Coming to the end here. Yep. And we'll be stuffing the top part soon. There you go. All right. Let's stop for a moment and get this stuffed. So when you're stuffing, don't just take a big wad and shove it in there. We got to fill out these little ears. So you're going to take a small piece. You're going to take a small piece. You're going to open this up And you're going to use your finger, or if your finger's not long enough, you can use a pencil. We're just going to make sure the little tips of those ears have some stuffing in them. Small piece. Push all the way up into the little ear. There we go. Now we can put the rest of the body. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, so cute. All right, let's get a little bit more. Do. And let's see, I think I need a little bit more stuffing for the tail. Oh, you know what? My mistake. I should have probably started at the end of the tail and did this first to make it easier to stuff in the end. You know, I'm not infallible, so I would do that differently next time. And really, this stream is not really planned out. It's just whatever's in the box, that's what we're working on. So I hope you're along for the ride and enjoy it. Let's see here. Marivon, I'm going to ask you a question directly. Can you hear the music? Do you hear that I have music on in the background? It's pretty quiet. I know I can hear it, but I wasn't sure if you guys could hear it or not. All right. So let's see. Coming to the end. I don't know if I'm going to have enough thread to finish this all around the tail, so I might stop here. Okay, great. Yeah, a little nice music in the background is good, from what I understand from other streamers that I watch. So that's why I set this up. And don't worry, everyone. This is copyright-free YouTube streaming music. About 12 hours of it, so you can just have it in the background. All right, let's get one more thread. And we're almost going to be done with this guy. All right. Let's start on the top sheet only for the first stitch so we can hide our knot on the inside. What is that? Get in there. There we go. Gonna make this a little bit shorter so I don't have to pull out so far. So yeah, I could have a pin in here, but my thumb can I should have a pin in here, but my thumb can also hold this right where I need it to be. So I'm just going to use my fingers in this moment. As soon as I get around that corner, we're going to stuff this tail, which is a little bit more challenging because I didn't do the tail first. Yeah, so if you have any pokey out bits, best to sew those parts first and then leave the flat area for the stuffing. That way you can stuff all the little pokey bits first and then fill in the flat bits. Here, I think I'll show you. It's just a little bit more challenging to stuff this tail now. Had I started here and we went all the way around, then I would have been able to stuff that tail and it would have been done. But because I kind of finished on here, it makes it just a little bit challenging. Not doable, just challenging. And sometimes when a finger doesn't work, a pencil will do. Let's see. I think I want a little bit more stuffing in there. So stuffing in the body, stuffing in the tail. All right. Here we go. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, yeah, you see, so it's a little bit challenging. I mean, I can do it, but it's just challenging to get all that fluff in there and do the sewing and keep it all together. Oops, let's see, let's get that fluff in. And then, there we go. Oop. There we go. Maybe I need to slow down a little bit. I'm moving and I don't think my camera is keeping up with me too well. I'll get all the little kinks worked out. And like I said, definitely open to feedback. Just be gentle, because I am new. All right, oh my goodness, that was quick. One more knot right there. And we don't want to cut the thread really close to the knot. So what I usually do is I just push my thread, my needle inside somewhere. I pull it out. That pulls the little thread into the piece. And then I can just pull this tight, clip it, and then the thread pops back into the project. Well, there you go. We did it. We finished another Pusheen kitty cat. And if I find some orange, I just don't have any here in my office at the moment. Maybe we'll give him like a little hand holding that. I could probably do that after the fact. Anyway, well, there you go. So we have that finished. And we have these two little guys finished. So sweet. And let's see. Ooh, I think what is good is that I'm going to take a break. We've almost been on for an hour. And so, let's see. So I'm going to take just like a 5-minute break, and I'll be back. And I'll leave the music on. Let's see. And I'm going to switch over to my little, be right back. And I'm going to turn off the mic, and I promise I'll remember to turn the mic back on when I come back. I'll be back in 5 minutes or less. All right, 1, 2, 3. Making sure I put my mic on before I come back. So hi. So how are you liking it so far? I hope you're enjoying it. So cute that we made our little Pusheen cat and finished our little cute slippers that somebody created. So our first 2 projects that we finished, and now let's think about what else we can do. I'm going to put these aside and I'm going to bring out the box and we're going to see what can we pick next. So let's change views. Let's do me and you. Pulling it out so we can see what we got going on. All right. So we have a couple of things here. I know there's only one person in chat right now. Do you have an interest on what we could do? I have a couple of pieces here. Oh, I got this guy here. I mean, we have tons of little hearts. Oh, we have this one. This one's really cute. Look at those eyes. You know what? I think let's finish this one up. So this one is basically just a cute little pillow. I could just complete it just like this, or we could put something else on there. And this is when I would involve the chat to say, yes, let's do something neat and cool with this one. So maybe I'll wait till next week for that one. Let's see. We got so many. This, I don't know, this seems like it's a tail to something, so I don't want to use that one. I'm just kind of flipping through here real quick to see what we have. We got this one. Oh, I think I found what this is. This is the popsicle stick for this ice cream. Let's do this one. I think it'll be cute. And we'll save more for later. We have so much to choose from. Honestly, we have so much to choose from. So, yes, let's put this eye on. And I'm going to use brown thread because that's what the student used here. Let me just scooch in here a little bit so you can see a little bit closer. Not too close. There. Is that good? Yeah. So here we are. We got our little guy here. It's a little, I don't know what, pistachio or lime popsicle. All right, so we've got the front, we've got the back. We have the popsicle stick here. So let's just sew on that one eyeball. I think I have enough thread here to do that. And I'm going to use brown instead of black because that's what the student used on the first eye. And for the most part, I kind of want to keep it authentic is what I'm probably the word I'm looking for. Authentic to how the kid wanted it to be done. So I'm going to do 3 nice stitches right here and get that eyeball on. Take that out. 1, 2. Oh, okay. My eye's going to have 4 because my stitches are a little bit smaller. There we go. So now this could have a mouth. And sometimes it's fun to put mouths on inanimate objects. I mean, it does have eyes. So what are you thinking? Is this a sassy popsicle? or just a happy popsicle, or maybe just like a straight faced popsicle, like not amused. Any preferences? Oh, and by the way, if you guys are finding this enjoyable in any way, um, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button, and definitely leave me a comment because I want to know what you guys are thinking. Okay, so I kind of want to make this guy a little bit of an attitude mouth because that's how I roll. So I think I think I did the knot. I'm gonna just do one more knot in the back just to make sure, because I was talking to you guys, so I don't remember if I did or not. Okay, yes, we're gonna do a little attitude mouth. I usually don't use teeny tiny little pieces of thread like this, but it's only gonna be like two or three stitches, so I will this time. So I think I'm just gonna do a little smirky mouth right here. The smirky mouths are like a little bit, oh, okay, that's not so much of a smirk, that's more cute. Oh, well, okay, fine, it's gonna be a cute mouth then. Because I'm not pulling it out. There we go. See? Kind of cute, right? The kids love it. All right, so that was 2 stitches. Oh, and to make that line like that, that's a back stitch. The back stitch is really good to use for making lines and other things I'll show you as we go along. Let me just thread this one more time so I can do a second knot. I do like to have 2 knots. In a lot of embroidery, they're not very big on knots, but you know, because these are plushies and they're being, you know, loved and manhandled, 2 knots I think is usually the best thing to keep things in from pulling out. Anyway, okay, that's cute. Come on, you got to admit. Okay, let's sew this together because we're going to have to put this in between when we put these 2 together. So, you know what? I'm looking at this orange thread and it's not a bad match. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. Okay. So check us out. We've been going for a little over an hour, which is great. We're on our 3rd project. So I guess that's kind of going to be the way it is. You know, we'll see how many projects we can get within that 2-hour window. And then I go off to teach my classes this afternoon. But I think this morning time with you will be really special. I'm looking forward to it. Gosh, I really wish that my camera would do just a little bit better job on being focused. I try. Anyway. Yep, so again, whip stitch, keeping it kind of close to the edge, making sure to not have too much space in between my stitches. And I think this will be just thick enough to get some stuffing in it. Sometimes when they're too thin and you can't get any stuffing in it, a pipe cleaner does well too. Just to kind of give it a little fluff. And it also actually gives it a little bit of integrity because the pipe cleaner has the wire in it. Yep. All right. Let's see. Getting to the bottom. Please let me know too if I'm going too fast for you to see what I'm doing. I am kind of a little bit quick when I'm working, and so I'm not really used to people watching me sew. So I just, again, feedback. Feedback is best, so I know, you know, how to make this experience the best for you guys too, because I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay, sucking up my thread there so I can cut it, but not close to the knot, and I need a little bit more thread to finish that stick. You know what? I'm not even going to match my thread. Oh, that is a very small thread. Let's see. Is that orange? I think that was orange. Well, and here's the next decision. Will we sew this guy up with green, or do we pick a different color? Do you see all the cool decisions you get to make when you're making stuff from scratch and not following a plan? I do this slow so it doesn't get all knotty. Oop, splitting my threads. Okay, here we go. Around my finger, roll it off the tip. Yeah, let's get this finished up and get a little stuffing in it. Ooh, somebody's at my front door. Okay. Also, when I sew, I always make sure that my thread that's loose is shorter than the thread with the knot on it. I don't know if you can see the knot. That way, the loose thread doesn't get caught in the stitch. And if I happen to make an accident with my stitch, I can just take the thread off of the needle and pull that last stitch out and then redo it. Okay, coming up on the end here. So let's see. I'm trying to think if we should do a different color for the popsicle. If we were to do a different color, what would it be? You could tell me in the comments and see if you were right. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm basically talking to my streaming audience and my VOD audience at the same time, which as a Gemini, I find very stimulating. All right, here we go. I am done with that stitch. Let's get a little bit of stuffing in there. Oop, take that out. Yeah, see how small that is? We'll see if we can get some stuff in there. Let's see. It's going to have to be a very small bit at first. Then maybe I can stick it in with the pencil. Sometimes when you start putting the stuffing in, it doesn't feel like it's going in. Oh, I don't want my eraser to get stuck in there. Let's see, what else do I have? Hold on one moment. Maybe I can use this. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, see? You just have to get a little traction on the fluff and then it'll go in. And the trick is to hold the end so you're kind of like helping guide the stuffing going down into the tip. Like, I won't stuff the rest of this until I know that there's stuffing in the tip. All right, and let's get a little bit more stuffing in there. Boop, 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 boop. All right, looking good. A little bit more on the end. Oops, that one too, maybe? No, just the one. Oops. You just got to keep at it. There we go. And there we go. We got our little popsicle stick all stuffed to the brim. And then what we do is we place that popsicle stick right here on the base so that when we sew this together, it's going to get trapped inside. So I'm going to put a needle right here to really hold it into place while we sew. That is not a very sharp needle. Pin. Let's go. There we go. Excellent. I think it didn't go through the back. I'll put one on the back too. There we go. So now when we start sewing this little guy together, we're going to sew right across the bottom and it's going to attach that stick. So I'm not going to make the same mistake I did last time and get myself in a pinch by not starting in the proper place. So for this, I think I am going to start here and I'm going to go all the way around and then come here, and then that spot there will be open for me to stuff. So here we go. I guess we're going to do green. I didn't see any other preferences in the chat today. Not that there won't be later, but let's do green. Oh my goodness, I'm getting thirsty doing all that talking. Hydro break. Okay. Here we are. Gonna sew this little guy together. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I have my knot on my long end. And I said I was going to start on this corner, so I'm going to. Here we go. Starting with my knot on the inside. This is going to be the whip stitch around the edge, just like I did on the popsicle stick. Oops. When you're on the corner there, sometimes your thread will wrap around the corner. You just got to straighten it out. Are you able to see okay? Waiting for the camera to kind of focus a little bit more. All right, and then when we get to the stick part, I am going to continue doing the whip stitch, but I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to put my needle through the stick, and then I'm going to come up through the green. So it's kind of like the whip stitch, except we're going through the stick when we're doing our whip part of the stitch. Just going through the stick only, coming down, going into the green only, going into the brown only. And then I'm going to take these pins out. Now that I'm past the stick, I'm just going to do the regular whip stitch. When I get to the corner, I switch the direction of my project in my hand. That way I'm always in a comfortable position for my hands. So meditative. I really enjoy it. I hope you guys are inspired to get out your own crafting and to craft alongside of me. I think that would be cool. I think we've kind of like run out of hobbies as adults, you know, because we're always distracted by life and everything in it. But hobby is just sitting down maybe for an hour and just kind of working with your hands, being creative. I think it could go a long way for just being happier in general, taking a little break, and just doing something fun for no reason but to enjoy the process. And that's really what sewing is all about. Enjoying the process and also having something cool at the end to share with a friend or to keep for yourself. In fact, I can't tell you how many kids make little like pillows like that one with the flower on it, and they say that they sleep with it, which I think is so sweet. Anyway, okay, coming to the end of this thread, I'm going to get all the way up to the top of this bite mark, and then I'm going to tie off. As long as you have enough thread to turn your needle around, you should be good. Oops. Maybe I put that on vibrate. All right. Got my knot. Gonna push my needle into the project to get the thread onto the inside so I don't have a little thread hanging off my project. Cool. And there we go. One more green thread and we'll be finished with this one. Oh my goodness. So I think we are actually doing really good. And as I said before, these will be on my Etsy shop to sell if anyone's interested. I know. They are just simple, silly little sewing projects, but some people like that. All right, gonna go ahead, slide my needle in between, go through the top sheet only first to hide my knot on the inside. See how my thread's getting all spun up like that? I don't know if you can see. So when that happens, just let your thread hang down and let the spin get out of it, and then continue sewing. Just the process of actually sewing kind of twists the thread a little bit, and sometimes it gets too messy, too tangled, so you just got to drop the needle and let the thread hang and unspin a little bit. Okay, I just want to make sure that the sound was on. All right, getting to the end here. I should move a little bit over here when I have my window up there, huh? I do have a Facebook, Green Arts Galore. So if you are crafting alongside with me, post your pictures on that. I'll in the description I'll put down my contacts, and you can, if you want to share your crafts. I love crafts so much. I want to see everybody's crafts. Oh, look at this. I'm talking so much. I almost forgot to stuff. Hold on. Yeah. So if you want to share with me your projects, whether they're crafting or sewing, you can post them, I believe, on Green Arts Galore Facebook page. Green Arts Galore. I probably won't get it into the description today, but by Thursday, the next stream that I have, I'll put all that information in there for those that need it. So I probably would have left myself a slightly bigger hole if I'd been paying attention. But I'm going to stuff this little ice cream. We're going to finish it up. And then I think we'll have time for one more project. I think I'm more efficient with you guys than I am on my own with these projects. And I'm going to say that this is a pistachio as opposed to lime. It feels more pistachio to me. All right. And here we go, finishing it up. Notice I put the pin here to hold it closed so I could focus on my stitching and not worry about the stuffing falling out while I sew. All right. Double knot. Take my pin out. Push my needle into my project. Stick it out someplace else. All right. Look at that. It's totally got the kid vibe, right? All of these. Just line them up right here. Okay. Well, let's see what we have next. Let's see. I'm going to push things up. I'm going to push this forward. Now I could finish this doll here. She only has this one side to be finished. Should we do that? We can do that, and then maybe if we have time, we'll make her like a little outfit or something. Let's see. Yeah, let's just do this one. Sip. Okay. Yeah, this was one of the 2020 left behind things. Such a great class. I was teaching them how to make dolls, and we were doing the yarn through the hair and everything. They were having a blast. Okay, let's see what thread I can use. That one's not really the right color. That one's too light. Let's see if I have another one over here. Yes. Better. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to split my thread. This was 4, so I'm going to split 2 off of it. And it looks like they were having a little bit of trouble with the thread here. So I think I'm going to try to repair this a little bit first. Let's see. Should I come in a little bit and see if we can see it better? There we go. Ooh, I like it when it's sharp like that. I'm going to leave it down here so it stays sharp. Yeah, maybe I don't even have to use their thread. I mean, use my thread. I could maybe use their thread if I could figure out what happened here and untangle it. That's not loose. This one is, okay. That one. Okay. What happened here? Oh, I think I got it. Let's back up these stitches just a little bit on the arm because she got a couple of stitches in the arm and I won't be able to put any stuffing in there. Let's see. Might as well just fix it up just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Ooh, I think I need to tie this hair up. All right, let's back this out a little bit. Or just push it down, maybe. So we're seeing a little bit more of what I'm doing. Okay, we're gonna put this in a knot to kind of keep it out of the way, the hair. And then, let's see. I'll put those two arms together. I'm going to thread this. Here we go. You guys can see okay? Let's see, this hand got a little bit stretched out. So we're just going to give her a little bit of a trim. There we go. Yeah, you know, working with felt, sometimes when you're pulling on the felt a little too much, it'll actually stretch out of shape. So you have to actually be a little bit gentle with the felt because it's not really woven. Felt is just kind of a fiber laid upon fiber laid upon fiber. They might like put needles in it to like connect them to each other, like felting. But for the most part, I do believe that it's just, you know, felt sitting on top of felt. And so you want to make sure, I want to put a little stuffing in that arm too. You want to make sure that you treat the felt gently so it doesn't stretch out too much. I don't know how much fluff I can get into this arm, but we're going to try. So I'm just going to put it there. And well, let's see. Let's sew up a little bit, and then I'll try to shove it in as we go along. Stuff it in, I should say. Stuff it in, because she did get stuffing on that other arm. She did manage to do that. So let's just, while we're sewing it up, let's go ahead and just push some stuffing down in there. So it too is soft. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's the first little bit in there. There we go. Let's see, get a little bit further up. And more stepping. A little up in the neck. A little on the shoulder. Ooh, I think we're good. Get all that fluff inside the neck. You can use the tip of your needle to kind of push that stuff in. There we go. So I was actually able to finish this with the thread the student left on the project. Ah, look at that. So much better now. Let me just tie one more knot. One more wee knot. And then we're going to push the needle just into the piece and pull it out someplace else so we can pull that thread through. All right. There we go. Finally finished after all those years. That was a good job she did. I just finished it off. So let's see, what time is it? I think maybe we can try to make something. I don't know. What if we made her just like a little dress? Purple. Let's see. I'm going to sew these two corners. It's going to be a really simple dress because we only have like 15, 20 minutes left. So let's see. Purple. I don't have purple, but I do have. Wait, should we do pink? Yeah, let's do pink. I got pink here. Oh, you know what? Actually, I got purple right here in this big old fluff of thread. All right, so here we go. I will only need two. I'm going to split it off. All right. Super simple dress. Literally a rectangle dress. And I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Just so we have at least the completion of a dress on her, even though this wasn't the student's idea. So I'm just going to sew up the two shoulder pieces with a little thread here. Probably do like 3 or 4 stitches on each side. This dress probably won't be able to be taken off once I put it on her. I'm going to do that right there. Okay, open it up. Push my thread to the inside. Since it's right going to be next to her neck, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to feed the thread. I don't know if you can see it. I just went, let's see, is it going to focus? I just went just underneath the surface of the felt. I didn't go all the way through to the other side, so that when I cut this thread, there isn't going to be like a little thread hanging out at her neck, you know? So I just wanted to hide it like that. Okay. Let's do another one, and then we're going to slide it over her head, hopefully. Or you know what? Actually, I might have to just put this on her the way it is. So we're going to open it up. We already finished the one shoulder, so we're going to lay it over that shoulder there. And then we're going to sew up this other shoulder piece. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it on her, not sewing her, but just sewing the dress. I don't think I was going to be able to fit her head through this little hole that I created for her neck. So, and this is what we do when we do things on the fly, and we make things as we go along. You've heard of improv acting. Well, this is improv crafting. All right. So I do the same thing here. I'm going to push my thread to the inside. I'm going to kind of put my thread just on the inside of the fabric there, so that I don't have a piece of thread hanging off the edge. Voila. We have a very simple sack dress, but look what we're going to do. Maybe, let's see, do I have any ribbon? No, I think I'll just do the waist on her. So let's just do a waist on this dress. And once I pull it in on the sides, it'll look more fitted. So I'm going to lift her arm for me, because there are pipe cleaners in her arm. And we're going to sew it on down the side. Okay, the whip stitch. Really simple whip stitch. Oops. All the way down. Tiny knot. And then go up through here. Boop. Right. Oh, there we go. Oh, I think I'm going to need a new purple thread. Let's see. There we go. Another purple thread for me. Different color purple, but still purple. Okay. Oops, sorry. Threading my needle off screen. Okay. Putting that up out of there. Moving her arm up out of my way. Starting on the, inside so I can hide my knot on side. Do, do. And then once I do this, if the dress looks too much like a sack, what I'll do is make a couple of stitches on the back side to pull it in. We'll see how it looks once we get this side finished. All right. Go through the loop, do it twice. It's good to, when you're making your knots, wait until the loop is small, because if you do it while the loop is big, sometimes it gets tangled and causes all kinds of trouble. I'm going to push my thread up the seam. I'm going to cut this here. And then let's see, does it look too sacky? Yeah, kind of. What if we use some ribbon? Do I have ribbon in here? Whoa. Here we go. We got ribbon. Let's see if we have one that will work. Ooh, that's a little bit too formal. Ooh, that's kind of fun. I like that. Let's just do that, and we'll put this around her waist. So I'll cut it to length. We'll pull it tight. And we'll do a couple stitches on the back. This is green, so why don't we use our green thread? Do, 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 do. All right. So let's see, I think I want to do it kind of tight, so I'm going to cut off some of this excess, I should say, not access. Yeah. Again, I'm going to start underneath the ribbon so I can hide the knot on the underside. Come on, get in there. And then we'll do a couple of stitches. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, I'm not doing this as clean as I would like to. This ribbon's actually quite thick. That looks nice on the front. Let's see if we could use a button. Just a quick little button for the back. I've got so many buttons. So many buttons. Let's go for green. How about this green little flower? That looks cool. So it is going to be on the back, but that's okay. It'll be a little decorative back piece. Oop, we're getting close to the end, so let me go ahead and finish sewing this on, and we can wrap up. I like it. I'm trying to make that ribbon behave a little bit more. I cut it a little bit short. That's okay. All right. And then I'm going to kind of bend this doll in a weird way. I'm going to try to hide the knot down here so no one can see it. And then again, I'm going to, because we don't want like a thread hanging off, but I can't cut the thread close to the knot. I'm just going to push the needle through to the other side and then cut it here. And that's it. Voila. We are done. Let's see. Maybe she needs a haircut too. Let's see. Let's kind of brush out her hair with our fingers a little bit here. And maybe we can give her just a little bit of a trim so all the hairs can be the same length. There we go. And put her down here. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it about here, because that way, if you happen to braid it, it won't be too short. Here, let's do a little braid quick. A little quick braid. Do do ba do ba do. Yeah, see, when we braid it, the hair shortens, and so it's just like the length of her feet, which I think is a good length. All right, we did it. I'll tie her hair maybe with a little green thread. A little green thread. And there you go. Check us out. So I think we were pretty productive. We have our finished girl here. We even made her a dress. Kind of push all this stuff out of the way. We've got our little Pusheen cat. We've got the slippers. And we've got the ice cream. Well, I feel good. That was nice. I really enjoyed that. And I hope you did too. You know, crafting is my passion. And I call this crafting because, you know, we're using felt and thread. I could call it sewing, but I do a lot of this kind of crafting too. So I just call it crafting. But I love to create and make things. And I love to do it with people. And I love to show how I do things. And if you're interested in following this series that is for the completionist in you, I hope that you join. I hope you subscribe. Definitely, if you enjoyed the video or the stream, definitely hit the like button. And definitely comment, because that helps the algorithms find me. So I hope to see you on Thursday, because I'll be back with more stuff to sew. And this has been incredibly enjoyable. Are there any questions that anyone wants to ask or say? Because this is it. 2 hours under our belts almost. And like I said, these will probably go on my Etsy channel for sale at a certain point. And yeah. All right. So thank you. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Maya, and this is greenARTS. I hope you join me on this Completionist series. Should be going until almost the end of March. And I hope to see you in the comment section and in chat. And thank you so much for being here. I'm incredibly grateful that I get to do this and I get to stream. And all of you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.